Today, we'll be putting head-to-head possibly the two most popular and widely suggested entry-level espresso machines on the market. The Breville Barista Express and the Gaggia Classic Pro are both strongly recommended and defended by their respective fan bases, and for good reason. So today, we'll be helping you decide which one is best for your level of experience and particular use case. To make sure that we're truly comparing these two machines and not just grinder quality, I'll be pairing the Gaggia Classic Pro with the Breville Smart Grinder Pro. The grind quality of this standalone grinder is almost identical to that of the built-in Breville grinders, and when paired with the Gaggia, brings both systems up to around the same price, at MSRP. However, I'll leave both these machines linked down in the description below so that you can check your actual local pricing. Starting off with build quality, these two machines both use real metal in their construction, but the Gaggia has an overall sturdier feel. Using a single metal piece to make up the shell and subframe, there is noticeably less creaking when doing things like locking in the portafilter. However, there are three areas where the Gaggia actually feels cheaper than the Breville, and those are the steam knob, the portafilter handle, and the drip tray, which is unfortunate because those are all areas that you interact with regularly. Moving on to the list of features, the Breville has far more bells and whistles to talk about. It has a dedicated hot water spout for things like Americanos or tea. It has an analog pressure gauge. It has programmable single and double shot buttons, a hidden tools bin behind the drip tray. It will tell you when it's time to clean it, and of course it has a good quality burr grinder built right into the top. The Gaggia does not have any of those features, but the ones it does have are refreshingly performance-oriented. It has a full-sized 58mm portafilter versus the 54 found on the Breville, a variable flow steam knob versus an on-off switch, a 2-hole steam tip versus a single-hole steam tip, and a water reservoir that can not only be filled from the top like on the Breville, but also from the front, which is very handy if you have low-hanging cabinets. Both machines also have a cup warming rack on top, but the cups get significantly warmer on the Gaggia thanks to it using a boiler to heat the water as opposed to the thermocoil heating system found on the Breville. Now that we've discussed the build quality and feature sets of these two machines, let's move on to the espresso quality. Now, both these machines come with both single wall and dual wall filter baskets, and if you want to know the differences between those, I'll leave a video linked up here. But for the sake of this review, we'll only be focusing on the true single-wall espresso performance of both these machines. Even with the same grinder, the Gaggia Classic Pro gives you the opportunity to make better espresso than on the Barista Express thanks to its commercial-sized 58mm portafilter. The difference in flavor isn't earth-shattering, but it certainly is there. The disadvantage of a 58mm portafilter is that it will be inherently more prone to channeling, meaning that you need to pay more attention to puck prep and tamping consistency. In terms of espresso workflow, the Gaggia Classic Pro is a completely manual experience. The shot starts when you flip the switch and doesn't stop until you switch it off, meaning that you'll need to pay attention in order to get the right shot time and volume. On the Barista Express, you can also run manually or pre-program the single and double shot buttons to run for a certain amount of time, meaning that once you're running, you can walk away from the machine and not risk over-extracting your shot. One final thing to note is the difference in spout clearance between these two machines. The Breville has a 10.8 centimeter clearance, which is enough to fit even a full-sized mug. The Gaggia, on the other hand, has a whole 3.5 centimeters less clearance, meaning that a full-sized cup is out of the question. Of course, if you're using an espresso shot glass, you'll have plenty of room on both. Next, we'll move on to steaming performance. Now, both these machines are single boiler configurations, meaning that after you brew your shot, you must wait for the machine to get up to steaming pressure. On the Barista Express, this process takes around 30 seconds. On the Gaggia Classic Pro, you can start steaming after about 35 seconds, just before the steaming indicator light turns on. Once up to temperature, the Barista Express will take around 60 seconds to steam your milk up to a temperature of 60 degrees Celsius. The Gaggia, on the other hand, completes the same task in only 30 seconds, showing much better steaming performance. Independent of the steaming speed, it's still possible to make great quality, latte microfoam on both these machines with the right technique. The method will just vary slightly because the Gaggia uses a 2-hole steam tip and the Breville only has a single-hole steam tip. I do, however, much prefer how the Breville steam arm is on a ball joint as opposed to the Gaggia where the arm only rotates. Now, let's look at the latte making workflow of each of these machines side by side so that you can see the differences, and then we'll come back and discuss who exactly each of these machines is best for. And there we have it. That was a latte on the Breville Barista Express and the Gaggia Classic Pro. So, which of these machines is right for you? If you're looking for your first espresso machine, both these units will serve you very well, assuming of course that you pair the Gaggia with an equally capable espresso grinder. The question of which one will be best for you depends entirely on how much value you place on convenience and how much you place on absolute quality. The Barista Express has long been the king of the entry-level market, and for good reason. The all-in-one form factor is tough to beat, and the range of features included makes it a great option for someone who wants an intuitive and easy-to-use machine. The Gaggia Classic Pro does not have as many features and is far more analog in its experience. You will need to time, measure, or weigh your shots. You will need to remember to clean it on your own, and you'll need to save some room in your budget for a standalone grinder. But you'll be rewarded with much better steaming power, the potential to make better espresso, and a bomb-proof build quality. Not to mention the ability to replace your grinder at any time to even further improve your coffee quality as your budget allows. I hope that this video was useful in helping you to make an informed decision between these two machines. Again, I'll have them both linked down in the description below. If you found this video useful, please leave us a like and even consider subscribing if you want to see some more like it in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.